The hard part is making more money. That's the hard part for most people. That's what most people are aspiring to. That's where the dissatisfaction is. This is my current lifestyle. This is the lifestyle I desire. That's why it's so hard to do this.
Everyone's biggest challenge is that everything you want and love is only sustainable if you do something you hate. I'm convinced of that. Why am I not in better shape? You know the answer. I don't diet. I've exercised every day for 2.5 years, and I don't diet.
Next Level Nation, welcome back to another episode of Next Level University, where we help you level up your life, your love, your health, and your wealth. Today, for episode number 1817, is Freestyle Friday. And if you're new to NLU, Freestyle Friday is an episode where Alan and I turn the lights off, and we're a little less serious, a little less profesh.
And in this case, you can see Kevin a little less.
Your window is just... My camera is just very different than yours, where my camera is optimized for the studio and the way the lighting is, and when I turn the lights off, it just doesn't change. Yours auto changes, I think.
Why? What's happening?
I think your camera works really well even in low light. Mine doesn't because it's not set up that way. I like it. I feel like I'm telling a campfire story.
But you lost the light.
Yeah, but I honestly like this better. I have to look at the final product. You know how it goes. I'm the creative here. I gotta take a look at what the final product is. This is my thought for Freestyle Friday. I had a moment of envy towards you. Shall I disclose more?
For sure.
In yesterday's episode, when you said you and Emilia have your phones across the house, so when you wake up in the morning, you don't get bombarded by messages, I had a little piece of me that was jealous of that. Because I don't feel, and there's a point to this whole thing, hopefully, I don't feel like that's good for me. But I also don't feel like the way I'm doing it is good for me either.
You feel like it's not good for you? To have
It's
not, I mean, trust me, I grab my phone almost right away. But it's not. So this morning, woke up, went and got my protein Pop-Tart and my protein shake.
Glass of warm milk as well?
No, but it might as well be. The protein shake is delicious. You have them too, the Premier Proteins. Quick 30 Gs.
Not sponsored by them, but
not sponsored.
These are. Yeah. I also make
great.
My protein ice cream with these and the ice cream maker. Just
nice.
FYI.
One of those plus protein Pop-Tart. That's 50 Gs right in the morning. It's good.
How many calories?
It's a good start to the day. I should know that off the top of my head. I would say probably 350, 400. 350, 400.
You're only looking at 240 calories in the protein Pop-Tart?
Yeah, probably
160
maybe 280.
280?
Yeah, probably 280. Yeah, I should know that. I know the G's on the protein. I don't know the calories. That's a tell right there. There's a tell. It's been a little while since I've tracked calories. Normally I know that. That's not good. Okay, but ultimately, that's what I started with. And then I grabbed my Zen book, it's like a little mini laptop that I work on, and my Dreamliner. And then I go over to the couch, and I have my little morning routine. And then I do my mobility, and then Emilia wakes up, and we go get the pets, and that kind of thing. But I check my phone.
How fast?
It depends on the morning. When we have 9 a.m.s, it's pretty much rush to see if I can take a shower and get to the studio. But in an ideal morning, it would be an hour without it. An ideal morning would be an hour without it. Lately, that's not the way it is at all.
Yeah.
But then sometimes the other thing too, I'm retaking an insane productivity course that I've taken 50 times probably at this point. But I start my morning with something learning. I try to start my morning with something learning. I do Atomic Habits or whatever book I adore or a training course, typically. And then usually around, as soon as I'm done with my protein and my Pop-Tart, then it's time to work. And then I do my Dreamliner, and then I'll do 20 minutes of WhatsApp and email or whatever. So after that, it's devices. So I use my Zen book, and then I tap in. I check. The other thing too, and again, let's not make this about me, but I do check, and you'll find yourself doing this all the time. I look at WhatsApp and then I'll scroll through to see if there's anything super urgent.
Yeah, always.
And then email, same deal. I look at email and see if there's anything super urgent, like a reschedule or whatever for a paying client. But
how do you figure out how much of that is constructive?
Yeah.
That's I think that's what I'm trying to work through right now. When I wake up, go to the kitchen, take off my mouth tape as I take off my armor, all the stuff that I wear when I go to sleep pretty much. Usually Fudge is looking out the window, looking at birds in the morning.
Nice.
At 6 a.m., he's hanging out on his window seat. Usually I'll go see him, say hello. My phone is usually out in the living room or in the kitchen overnight. I never bring it into the bedroom. So I have my phone essentially from 6:03 on. First thing I do is usually check email. Probably 6:05.
Well, you and I talked about this earlier. You feel like you're not as focused on the self-improvement as much.
I do feel that way, yeah.
It's so... I talk about I was on with actually, he's from Germany, and this podcast, I was concerned. I said, do you know I don't speak German? Because they're like, no, we want English-speaking guests, we're good. I was actually on 2 German shows today for some reason. I don't know why, and they were awesome. They were really good. One of them was a pre-call. It was a young guy, 21 years old, and he was asking me every question under the sun about how I got here, productivity, finance, business, everything. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, I told him about my routine. The first third is for me. The second third is for service. The third is for fitness, food, and family. That's kind of my daily structure. Monday through Saturday is front-facing. Sunday is family day. But really, and he said straight up, how much do you work? And I said, honestly, I never used to say this because I was too scared to be unrelatable. Every single day. I don't think I'll ever not work a day in my life. Ever. Now, sometimes it's going to be a couple hours, and other times it's going to be the whole effing day. And if I do too much of the whole effing day in a row, I do get resentful. I do get...
Understandable.
I call myself a snippy pippy. I'm not happy. I just am so unfulfilled and just annoyed. And then we talked about venting about that and all that stuff, which also venting just means expressing yourself ultimately, but hopefully in a healthy way. But so what's my point of all that? The people that I coach, it's supposed to be self first. Everyone has sort of that order of priority. Self first, then ideally it would be business and then relationship for you, I think. And I think lately it's probably been business first. And yeah. I feel that way too quite a bit because I do get resentful when I can't listen to my books or do my own personal development. Even this workbook, we joked about it earlier. I got this Atomic Habits workbook, and I'm so excited. I joked with Kev. I said, paid $11.99 for it. Tiny tweaks change my life forever, and I don't have time. And if I had tiny tweaks, maybe I would have time. I'm being playful. But ultimately, when you do grow and scale a business, and I know that we sound really negative about it, it is very difficult to put yourself first when you have so much responsibility.
I'm feeling that. There's a piece of me that I need to know what's going on. I would feel...
irresponsible.
Irresponsible, but I feel like I would be so anxious if I didn't know what was going on and then I just went to the gym.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel, I don't know. I think I would just be nervous.
Is there a way you can do a half an hour morning routine before you touch your phone and then go to the gym after you check your phone?
I'm sure. If there's fires, I want to put them out immediately.
100%. And I respect and admire that, and I'm grateful. And for anyone out there watching or listening, particularly the parents, how do you put yourself first? That's a good episode right there. I mean, dude, honestly, can you?
I'm not a parent, nor do I know if I ever will be one, so I don't know.
I got interviewed earlier by a man named Chris Perry. I don't know if his name is actually Chris Perry. I think Perry might be his middle name. It was his Zoom name. I don't know. But he said, hey, this is so-and-so, and it was a different name than what was on Zoom, so maybe that's his middle name. But great show. Been on it twice. Awesome, dude. You're going on next week. He said he listened to the episode we did about what it means to be a real man. And he talked about how he wanted to interview me about how proactive I've been at trying to prepare to be a father in advance. Because he has 4 kids. He didn't prepare to be a father. He didn't know that he was going to be. He didn't even know if he wanted to be. And then he had to figure it all out. And so it was really nice, actually. And I said, listen, I don't know if I can do an interview about being a father. I'm not a father. So I can only tell you theoretically what I'm intending on. And I do think that being a good leader and being a great man in general is probably where you should start. And then we went into it. It was really good. But for people that are parents out there, people that have households, people that have businesses, people that have pets and kids and family, want to be fit, goals, dreams, health, wealth, love, it's very easy to design a life or fall into a life where you're basically never putting yourself first. And that can be something that it will eventually implode on you. And I've seen that, especially for older people. You can tell when older people didn't take care of the asset. Emilia and I talk about that. We take care of the asset, take care of the asset, take care of the asset. And what we mean by that is our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, particularly physical. A lot of people, like if you're not brushing your teeth, if you're serving so much and so often that you forget to take care of this asset, you're in trouble because that's a losing game.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard when there's so many other things going on. And I'm still going to the gym and I'm getting 8 hours of sleep and I'm drinking plenty of water. I have so much water. It's not even funny. It's a lot of it is that. I was just telling Alan, I said I just don't feel like I'm doing as much self-improvement as I used to. I feel like I'm having more deep conversations than I ever have, which is great. A lot of them are public-facing because it's this podcast and other podcasts. Again, great. It's all great. But I'm not learning about the stuff that I used to learn about.
I know.
I'm not meditating like I used to. I'm not journaling like I used to. And maybe it's not the season for that. Maybe, I don't want to say I've outgrown that, but maybe it's just not as needed as other things right now.
Well, what's the thing that you miss most that you think? I always ask my clients, what's the thing you know you should be doing that you know you want to do that you're still not doing?
Probably just having any morning routine.
Yeah. You used to have a fire morning routine. You used to do ROMWAD first thing, mobility.
It was absolutely
world class.
Bulletproof.
Yeah.
But I was broke as shit. So.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be a happy medium, right?
No, yeah. I don't. It depends. I think I'm just in that. It's very easy to forget what you did last season because things start to feel normal. And when you do something the same way for like a month, that tends to feel like your new normal. And then you look back and you have to say, like, how did I used to do this? Mm-hmm. There's a piece of me in this moment that is thinking one of the reasons I was so consistent with ROMWAD, which is a mobility thing Bianca introduced me to, I was paying for it. I'm going to do it if I'm paying for it. I'm not paying for it anymore. Canned it. Canned all of it. Got rid of it.
They have a free trial, like the free videos. There's 7 free videos. You can use those, but they're not as good as what you were doing, probably. Of course not.
So I think it's a piece of it is finding the right content that I look forward to doing.
We don't talk about these fundamentals as much as we used to because I don't know. But what are the most important things for the self? Like for you, stop saying like so much. For you, what do you get resentful? And maybe resentful is not the right word, but upset, resentful, whatever, angry, frustrated when you don't do it. For me, if I don't listen to personal development in the morning, I'm not happy. I can't stand going out and pouring personal development and self-improvement into other people's lives when I haven't been able to work on my own life at all. Now, it doesn't have to be a ton, and lately it hasn't been, quite frankly, and I guess can't stand is probably harsh, but eventually it gets to the point where I'm helping people with their life more than I'm working on my own. I don't want to live a life where I'm helping. It's just not sustainable. Because in coaching, and I'm very grateful, I have a lot of people that I'm coaching right now. All day, every day, I'm helping people improve their lives. But if I can't implement this stuff in my own life, that's making my own quality of life better, my own physical, mental, emotional, spiritual development, my own learning. And then the other piece of it too, Kevin, this is something that we don't talk about enough, but it's Freestyle Friday. Let's do it. It's very hard to find content that I consider valuable these days.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, I told Taryn this because I was talking about why the going to the podcast conference was that jeffed me, because we were digging and trying to explore it. And I said, I think one of the things is, even if there was stuff there that I wanted to do, we most likely wouldn't do it because it just doesn't fit in the business. So I might hear 1,000 ideas that I think are really good ideas, but if it doesn't fit into the way we want to do it, it's not going to happen anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Have you found it difficult to find content that resonates?
No, not necessarily. I think I'm way behind for sure on the self-improvement, business awareness, that type of stuff. So no, I found some leaf blowers going on outside. I've found some really good stuff that I enjoy, but the problem is it has nothing to do with me. It's not the 4 tendencies, mindset, 7 spiritual laws, whatever I used to listen to. It's not that. It's not about, okay, I feel stuck here. How do I, let me make sure my window's all the way shut. I feel stuck here. How do I break free and break through? It's business. One of my favorite things to watch is there's this channel called Company Man on YouTube. You probably heard me talk about it. And he talks about companies and where they went wrong. So it's like the climb and the fall and the climb again, or whatever it is. And I watched one today on KFC, and I watched one on, what else was it? I watched one on GoPro, and it was just really cool. It's a really cool channel. I learned so much from those examples, but that has nothing to do with me and my morning routine.
Yeah, it's not self-improvement.
It's
skill development, it's business, it's success, it's achievement. Hello, NLU listener. Thank you, as always, for listening to Next Level University. Real quick, I just want to jump in and let you know about the Next Level Dreamliner. This is a journal that I use every single day. Achieve your dreams 90 days at a time. It breaks down your dreams into goals, milestones, and daily habits. We hope you enjoy it. The link will be in the show notes. The goal achievement framework, picture goal in the center, and then the bottom left is metrics. The upper part of the triangle is habits, and then the bottom right is identity. Identity is the self-improvement. And I think that in an ideal world, everyone would wake up in the morning and work on themselves first. And then they'd work on their career second. And then, in my opinion, they'd work on their family third. And the only reason I put it that way is I think that makes sense from a willpower perspective. You're not going to wake up on a Monday morning and then spend the day with the family. You're supposed to, again, I put that in quotes. So everyone design your own life. But ultimately, the unfortunate part about lifestyle design is you kind of have to go with. So for example, Kevin and I, let's say we wanted to take a Thursday off. We could, but clients aren't. And so you kind of have to go. I remember when I first got into this space, it was, I can make my own schedule. Not really. Yeah, you can, but you and I have completely fallen into the Monday. I mean, I do Monday through Saturday, you do Monday through Friday, but you also work Saturday mornings. It's not like we're going to not work Mondays when the whole world's working Mondays, right? So when you have customers, clients, community, you need to kind of be on their rhythm. And so for me, I think you wake up in the morning, you have a morning routine that is mostly focused on the self-care. Maybe it's a shower, maybe it's mobility, maybe it's learning, whatever that is. And then you go serve in your career. Whatever your career is, you are in the service of others, no matter what it is. If you're getting paid, you're not getting paid for nothing, you're getting paid for service. And then the last one would be, I think, family, which is your relationships are usually for the evenings. And that's where you connect and have dinner with your family or whatever. So Emilia and I always have dinner together, and I love it. To me, it doesn't make nothing else makes sense. It doesn't make any sense. You're not going to wake up. No one's going to have like lunch with their family at 11 a.m. when they're also focused on being successful in their career. And I think that it doesn't mean you can't ever do it. It's just you're not going to do that every day, right? So it's not a good rhythm to get in. Yeah.
Well, I think the hard thing is the thing that you are most, pardon the word, but the thing that you are most dissatisfied with the results in are the thing that your time, energy, effort, focus has to go to the most.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the hard thing. If you're living with your family, you can kind of see your family whenever you want in terms of the ability to do so. If you have a capable body and you're able to exercise and you have a morning routine, you can do that. The hard part is making more money. That's the hard part for most people. That's what most people are aspiring to. That's where the dissatisfaction is. This is my current lifestyle. This is the lifestyle I desire. That's why it's so hard to do this.
It's a really great point right there. Not a lot of people talk about that. That's very true. I would say health, wealth, and love, the majority of people struggle with wealth the most, statistically speaking.
You can accidentally spend too much time with your partner on a Monday. You can accidentally go for a longer hike than you intended on. You're not going to accidentally make money, most likely. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Money is external.
I think the one that people statistically, sorry to interrupt you, statistically the one people struggle with most, I think, the majority of people is wealth. Next, I think, is health. And third, I think, is love.
I would agree.
And all three are really challenging. And love, I think, is probably the hardest for people who are really good at wealth. From what I've seen. Like for me, I think that health and wealth, success, external achievement, we'll call it external achievement, always, I feel like, came easier than relationships. But I think the majority of the population, relationships come easier.
I think it requires less action. I think on a day-to-day basis, it requires, and again, I'm not saying if you have a household and you have children, you have all that, that's a lot of action. I'm not saying, but it's more readily available where you can fall into it.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think if that's what you value, I think it's a wonderful thing. But you're most likely not going to fall into money accidentally.
Yeah, spending quality time with friends and family is probably more readily available and easier to...
There's less resistance.
Yeah, there's less resistance. It's less uphill.
Resistance.
It's less uphill. Yeah. Agreed.
It's easy to do. It's easy to do because most of us value it at a very high level, and it's a convenient way to do something that's less resistance as opposed to more resistance.
You and I talked about this, and I'm very weird with this, so everyone take this with a grain of salt, but I have a want, love, hate framework we've talked about. And I say I want to be fit, and I think this will resonate because this is my truth. I want to be really fit. I love weight training. I hate dieting with a passion. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. There's nothing about it that I like. I don't like salad. I want to eat nachos. Dieting is not great. I don't care about it almost at all. Now, I will do it, but it's not because I want to. And I think people who say, oh, I love kale, and I don't agree with you. I think you're lying. No one likes kale, right? And if you do, you learned to like it. I'm obviously being playful right now, so don't take this out of context. But ultimately, the want, love, hate framework, I'm telling you, I was on with a couple people this past week, and she was a podcaster. We did the want, love, hate. Okay, you want to be successful in business. You love podcasting, but you hate insert here. What's the thing you hate that you need to do in order to be successful at the other two? And she's like, oh, yep. Dude, I want to redesign my entire system, my peak performance tracker, my habits and metrics around the things I hate. I know that sounds insane. But the truth is, the other stuff happens automatically. The stuff that's meaningful and fulfilling and that I enjoy automatically happens. I don't need to force myself to weight train. Sometimes I do. But for the most part, I crave it. I haven't weight trained that much. I think I've done 3 workouts in the last 7 days. To me, I'm itching. Like if we don't go to the gym tonight, I'm going to be deeply upset. But prospecting and different things, I'm not drawn to that. And so what are the things that you do have resistance to that actually lead? And this is the world's biggest problem. Everyone's biggest challenge is that everything you want and love is only sustainable if you do something you hate. I'm convinced of that. Why am I not in better shape? You know the answer. I don't diet. I've exercised every day for 2.5 years, and I don't diet. Now, I do intuitive eating, and I try to make sure I'm in a surplus or a deficit, but I didn't even know how many calories were in my protein Pop-Tart and my shake off the top of my head. That's a tell. And I think everyone has deluded themselves, and this is the last piece, and I apologize for this giant monologue, but I said this to someone on a coaching session this past week, and I know this will help everyone listening or watching. I said, what's the thing that you've deluded yourself into thinking you shouldn't have to do? That is, dude, look at any failure you've ever had in life, everyone. I lost my first fitness show. I got stomped. What is the thing I deluded myself into thinking I shouldn't have to do? I didn't get a posing coach. I didn't do check-ins consistently with photo check-ins. I had a fitness coach, but not really. It was kind of an accountability partner thing. And the second time I won the show, I had a posing coach. I had check-ins every single week and a paid fitness coach. And that's why I won. It was much more accountability. And I hated, and I dieted. I didn't. Dude, you saw how lean I was. I was so hungry. I was suffering so hard, and I hated every second of it. I loved being lean and ripped and having an 8-pack. That was great, but I absolutely hated the dieting so much.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing. I agree. I'm in agreement with that for sure. I think one of the reasons, the big reason we don't accomplish our goal is not because we don't want the goal. It's because we don't want to do the things necessary to accomplish the goal. I think that's goal setting 101. I don't know many people who get halfway to the goal and say, honestly, I don't know if I want the goal anymore. It's usually I don't want the process to accomplish the goal. And I'm as guilty. I said I did a fitness show. I won my thing. Awesome. Said I was going to do another one. My goal didn't change. The fact that I didn't want to suffer like I did the first time, that changed. I wanted a lifestyle. I wanted to be able to go get pizza and not have to work out 7 times a day, twice a day. I didn't want to do that again. I didn't want the experience of that. It's brutal.
7 times a day, twice a day is what you said.
7 times a day, twice a day. 7 days a week, twice a day. There you go.
Either way, terrible.
It was terrible. But again, so that's the thing is I signed up for it and I signed my name on the proverbial dotted line and I did it. And then when I went to do it again, I remember thinking, no. We don't want to do this again. This was terrible. This was terrible for us.
What's your wrap up of this Freestyle Friday?
I don't know. I don't even know if I have an answer because I think I'm kind of going through it. I think right now I don't feel very holistic. I think I am the most holistic I've probably ever been, honestly. The consistent time with Taryn has been the best it's ever been. Fitness is the best it's been in a long time. I'm dieting. I'm tracking my macros, weighing myself every day. 8 hours of sleep, all that's really good. I just don't feel like I am doing as much self-improvement as I once did. And I feel like I am more a victim of the business right now than I'm used to / comfortable with currently. So I think maybe it's just, okay, tomorrow, this would be my takeaway for everyone. Tomorrow, what is one thing I can do to move in the right direction? And for me, even if I batch my WhatsApp while I'm doing mobility, that is an improvement to what I'm doing currently. So I'm going to wake up tomorrow, and I'm going to go in the living room, and I will try to do, 10 minutes of mobility to start the day, and I could habit stack learning with that.
That's what you used to do.
Yeah, but back then it was, and again, this is an excuse and a justification. I'm not saying, this is not my complete internal dialogue, but back then, there wasn't a lot going on. So it wasn't
in comparison, yeah, for sure.
In comparison, yeah. Yeah, when I was the most consistent with my morning routine was during COVID. Ain't shit happening.
Yeah.
There wasn't
Yeah.
much going on.
In a weird way, that was setting you up for success because you were self-improving, but you can't just have a morning routine that's going to get you success. A morning routine is a
Unless you have an ice
foundational.
If you can wake up, jump right in the ice bath, you're going to be a millionaire before you know it.
It's a pyramid, and the foundation needs to be self-improvement, but that is not enough. It is critical, but not sufficient.
That's like supplemental. You didn't want to use supplemental?
I did.
Huh?
Well, no, because critical but not sufficient, and then something that I think can be supplemental would be supplements.
Okay. All right. On that
Like
note,
my vitamins and creatine, those are supplemental.
vitamins. Anything? What would your thing be before we get out of here?
What are the top 3 things that you think are best for your own self-improvement? So, to give an example, a great book or a great course. I need that. Need it. Every day I need at least 20 minutes of learning something that, even if it's not learning, I'm not trying to learn anything new. I need to refresh and replenish the same fundamentals. I've read The Compound Effect 50 times. I've read Atomic Habits dozens of times. I go back to the Insane Productivity course by Darren constantly. So, and then there's certain speeches on YouTube that I'll listen to over and over and over and over again. I just need something that gets me and keeps me focused on. So that's one. Another one would be mobility. That's really important. And then what would be another one? One more thing for this. I would say the self-care. A shower where I floss and I brush my teeth while I'm learning, and I cut my nails and I take care of the asset. I don't like rolling into a day without taking care of Alan. You got to take care of the asset. You're not going to renovate a home and redo the kitchen if you don't value it. And I think self-worth starts with taking care and valuing the asset.
Value the asset. I like that. If you are looking to improve the asset, I'm not going to say that many more times, but I will say it one more at least. Group coaching starts on October 8th. And here, real quick, if you do a cold plunge, I'm not crapping on you. I just know there's a lot of people that think like that's the secret. It's not the secret. But good for you. If you want to do it, do it. But it's most likely not the thing that's going to make you a bajillionaire if that's what you want. So I just like to throw that out there. Because the sexy thing is usually the sexy thing, not because of the sexy results it produces. It usually just looks really cool. It looks really cool to hop in a cold plunge. Like, this is how I start my day. Awesome. Good for you. Awesome. Awesome for you. I start my day by panic swiping through WhatsApp. And I'm fairly successful, so maybe you should do that. Probably not. No, I'm trying to work my way away from that. Group coaching starts on October 8th. I know we're joking here at the end, but if you're trying to be the most consistent, fulfilled version of yourself, I have a deep belief that group coaching will help you. And we have a bunch of people, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people who have been through group coaching, who have gotten really, really, really good results and have grown so much. If you want to experience that, we'll have the link in the show notes. Use NLU Listener at the checkout for the coupon code, and it will end up being $96.60 per month, and you get 4 calls per month, access to the WhatsApp group, a whole bunch of amazing stuff. Alan still has spots open for one-on-one clients, whether you're a business owner, whether you're looking for peak performance, whatever it is. If you're a humble human who is looking for more results, Alan is your guy. If you're a podcaster who is looking for more results, I would love to help. Free call, paid call, whatever. Reach out, email me. I don't care. Anything I can do to add value. We are always just a message away. As always, we love you. My goodness, we appreciate you. Grateful for each and every one of you. And at NLU, we do not have fans. We have family. We will talk to you all tomorrow.
Please reach out.